In this lesson, we'll continue work on the drawing we began in the lesson Starting a New Drawing. Let's begin by opening the Start Draw TIFF file. So we'll go ahead and take our cursor to the main menu, the File, Open, and click on the Start Draw file. Now as you can see, the drawing where we last left off is up here in the upper left corner of our canvas. So what we'd like to do is bring that more into the center of the canvas. What I'm going to do is go to the user interface, click Edit, Lasso Select. We'll go ahead and anchor our lasso tool, bring it around. Okay, wait for the pop-up button to allow us to bring it in. Once we lift up off our tablet, we're going to go ahead and position in the scale button and move that to the right. Now remember, if we move to the left, we go small. So we're going to go ahead and move that up. We'll move back up to the Move section so we can move that into position and deselect. What we're going to do in this is we're going to add a little more detail. Go ahead and select your pencil. Okay, now there's two ways using the user interface to select the pencil or clicking on the toolbox. Let's go ahead and re-click on that. Go ahead and click the pencil. And what we're going to do is use our Zoom and Move tool from the user interface. Position that over the area where the lower cubes are located. And what we're going to do is create a 4-point ellipse. What we're going to do is go ahead and create a line in the middle of the horizontals and lines across the horizontal of the cube. And then what we're going to do is create an ellipse that touches each of those corners. And we'll do it again on the one in the back. And then what we're going to do is create some thickness in the wheel. Now what we're going to do is going to take our eraser tool, the hard eraser tool, and we're going to remove the cube around the ellipse. And what this does is it allows the ellipse to stand proud. Now again, if you want to get in some of these areas that are a little tougher, go ahead and click your Resize Brush tool, and you can also use this in your eraser. So you can resize your eraser and remove that box. Let's go ahead and go to our user interface and grab our zoom tool, zoom in so we can get a little more precise removal of the line work. Again, that's removing all the lines that we don't want. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom again. Now let's go back to the user interface and grab our Lasso Select tool, because what we're going to do is we're going to Lasso Select that ellipse that we just created, and it's going to give us an option. Now we don't really want to resize this. What we want to do is just leave that selected, but what we want to do is we want to copy that ellipse. So let me show you why we want to copy that. Once we copy and paste it, we're going to go ahead and align that ellipse right over the existing ellipse, and this is where we're going to rescale. We're going to go ahead and rescale within it so that we concentrically reduce the size of that ellipse so that we can create a wheel hub or the inside ridge of a tire. Now while it's still selected, we're going to go ahead and copy that again, paste one more, go ahead and take our Move tool, you see, and as we position it over that existing one, we're going to go ahead and reduce it yet again. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us some thickness to that rim. And then what we're going to do one more time is we're going to copy that size and paste one more time, moving it to the middle, so we have the hub of the wheel. This is a really good example of Sketchbook Pro's powerful editing tools, is that you can select and paste and resize to create something that normally would be really difficult to do by hand. And this is something that's repetitive, but then the editing tools within Sketchbook Pro allow you to do that. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Now I'm only going to do one wheel, but what I'm going to do is show you another way of editing in Sketchbook Pro. We're going to soften the corners of our drawing by creating these little arcs. Let me go ahead and select our Move and Zoom tool so we can zoom out. And what I'm going to do here is a couple things. I'm going to go ahead and erase some of these hard edges. You see how we have these hard edges, and we're going to replace those with curved lines. But before we do that, what we want to do is we want to create a rim around this top portion so that we show some material thickness. And what I'm going to do here is go ahead and go to my interface, select lasso. I want to select this line because I want to move this a little closer so that it's lined up with this line here. I'm going to go ahead and select my eraser tool, erase out that little corner and all these little extraneous lines that I don't need. And then I'm going to go back to my interface and select my lasso select again. And we're going to lasso select that top rim. Now remember what we did with the wheel down below. We went ahead and selected that and copied it. And we pasted it. We're going to do the same thing with the rim. And then what we're going to do is we're going to position that lined up just like we did on the wheel. And by rescaling, you see how we can now create that rim? Now, by rescaling, what it did, it rescaled it only in one dimension. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select that part of it and pull it back so it's uniform in thickness. Go back to the Move and Zoom tool to zoom in on the areas where we want to make repairs. You see how you can do that if your line work? You go to your lasso select tool and you can expand it or move it. Go back to the pencil tool to connect the lines. Let's go ahead and zoom out. And we're just going to go ahead and drop some new lines to reconnect. Or move this line here. One more last thing that I want to do is put a curve here. And I want to add two more lines. So I'm going to go ahead and select my lasso select tool. I'm going to select this inside line. I'm going to copy and paste. And then you see where this edge is? There's going to be one corresponding at the bottom showing the thickness. I'm going to rotate a little bit. Select my eraser tool and erase the lines that are hidden. Let's go ahead and zoom out and take a look at what we have. Now that we've made some progress on this drawing, let's go ahead and save this as a new file. Let's go ahead and go up to File, Main Menu, and Save As, because we want to save a new file. Let's go ahead and Save As. And it's already recognized that it's going to save it as a second drawing. But let's go ahead and name it as Start Draw 2. And let's go ahead and keep it as a TIFF file so that we can maintain our editing capabilities within Sketchup Pro. Let's go ahead and click Save. And there we go. So to conclude, as you continue to develop your skills in Sketchbook Pro, always leave ample space between each sketch for selecting, moving, and editing. When saving your work, type in easy to recall and organized names.